Yes,
Hello,
sir.
guys.
We are live. You can start.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you. Hello, everyone. How are you all? Can you guys see me? Can you guys see my screen? Confirm me that. Many of us did not receive the mail for the class today. Guys, it was very clear that we'll have all the three sessions at 10 a.m. I hope that was clear. But anyway, you have joined. That's good. Yeah, I can see a lot of faces. I can see 28 people joining. Give me a good big shout out. Say yes or something like that. Good morning, something, guys. So that we'll start for the day. Yeah. Are you all, guys are all excited for today's session? Like CSS, we're gonna learn about a lot of new properties. We're gonna learn about flexboxes. We're gonna learn about pseudo elements. Yeah, we'll learn about shadows, borders, and we'll see if time permits. I'll also show some kind of transformations that we can do. Okay, but that is totally up to time. How fast you guys can learn about today. Based on that, we can learn. Good morning, guys. I can see a lot of people joining today. Shiva, Satvik, Satvika, Sagar, Anish, Shahid, Jaideep. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Anushka, Sachin. Good morning, guys. So, shall we start then? I'm excited for today because we're going to learn about a lot of cool properties today. And did you guys complete the assignment yesterday? Was it easy? Yes, yes. Okay, great, great, great. Okay. So before we start, right, I'll give a small recap of what we did yesterday. So that's important, so that there is no confusion, right? So what did we see? We learned why do we need CSS? Basically to style our properties, style our HTML elements using some properties. And we also saw the basic syntax, that is a selector and property and value. And we also saw a selector can be of tag name, or we can give us some class and you can access it by using the dot symbol, or we can give an ID and we can use hash symbol. And how do we write CSS and where do we write CSS? We can write directly inside the P element or the HTML element in the attribute section, or we can write internal CSS using the style element, or we can link an external file itself using the link tag, and we can write all the CSS in external file. Correct? And we also saw what is a container tag. Basically, it's a tag which holds all other child elements, right? Using all that we can move all our elements at once, so we need not write individual properties for the child elements. If you write it for the parent, it will be applicable for the child elements also. Correct? And also we saw one more important topic, that was box model, right? The box model was what we had basically four things. Height and width for the first thing, and we had padding, that is nothing but the fake size and the extra space around the element, and it also takes the same color as the element. Then we had margin, which creates extra space, but gives an illusion of gap or something like that. And we know border, it's a simple it's something which is between a margin and padding, we can say. We can give some kind of a different color to it so that we can differentiate things. So this is what we learned yesterday, guys. So if all this is clear, right, so we can move to the new topics for the day. Yeah. So let me just create a file, say a3.html, and also let me create one more CSS file, a3.css. Close this. Yesterday assignment was good. Great, great. Submit it also. Great, amazing, guys. So we know this shortcut. We have to press exclamatory mark to get this. Right. So next we'll say CSS A3. Okay. And we also have to link it. So we'll use the link tag. Relationship with style sheet. href is the file name itself. Correct? A3 CSS. So just to confirm, let me just write a div with class 1 and let's access that one class using the class selector, and let's just give background color aquamarine, right? Let's copy this file path, go to the browser, refresh it. We are not able to see that. Why? Yeah. So we remember for a container, it's always important to give the height and width, right? Without which we cannot see the elements. Correct? Height 100 pixel, width 100 pixels. Guys, do you want me to zoom? Is it fine? I think this should be fine. Let me know. Yeah. Is zoom fine, guys? Are you able to see what I'm writing here? Confirm me. Just seeing your chats. Guys, confirm me, please. Are you able to see my screen properly? Do you want any zoom level? Shall we continue? We are done with the basic setup for the day. Yes. Okay. Okay, great. So, guys, before we move on to flex boxes for the day, I want to show one more important topic, that is the different way of giving the sizes. We already know one way, that is giving the size using pixels. You just saw me doing it, correct? You saw me giving 100 pixels here, right? So I'm getting yes, no, maybe there's a little delay between the chats. Okay. So this is 100 pixels, right? So we know this. It occupies 100 pixels from the left to the right. When I give width, just go to 100 pixels. Now we can also give size in terms of percentages. For example, if I give 100%, you'll see this is occupying from start to the left. And also we are seeing some extra gap around the box. So what we'll do is we'll call our universal selector, which we saw yesterday, and set margin is equal to 0, padding is equal to 0. Okay. And when we refresh, see. So this is what it is, guys. When I give 100%, it occupies everything. How much the viewable area is there, that much will be occupied by the our div container, correct? That is how the 100% works. Now, this 100% is always with respect to the parent. What do you mean by that? So here the class one has 100%. So what is the parent of this div? It's the body. So if div, it's occupying 100% of the body. So that's how it is. Now, for example, if I give, if I create one more div here, say like a box, right? Now, say for example, let this be 200 pixels. Okay. Let me call the box element. Let me give height of say 50 pixels, width of say 50 pixels again, background color say black. Maybe this is not a right color. Let's see. Now, are you able to see this? I have given the width of the parent element, that is the one element, as 200 pixels, and the width of the child element, that is a box element, as 50 pixels. This is we already know this. Now observe, when I give 50% to this, what happens? Now let me refresh. You observe that the 50% is of the parent, that is 100. This will be 100 pixels, guys. So that 50% of the parent always. Now again, if I change the width of the parent from 200 pixels to 100 pixels, sorry, 100 percentage, you will see it's taking the 50% of the its parent, that is the one element. And this is responsive also, guys, little bit. So if you see, if I change the screen size, the the child element, the box element is also changing. So it's adjusting to its parents. So when we make responsive websites, percentage always comes handy. So remember this, guys. This is very important. So is the concept of percentage clear? If this is clear, let's move to Flexboxes next. Give me a yes, guys. Ma'am, please pin the attendance link. It will come, guys. It will come. Don't worry. They'll put it in a couple of minutes. Okay. And also, if you have any doubts, we'll show you it. I'll show you it at the last, like how to do it, all that stuff. Don't worry. Okay. So shall we move on to Flexboxes now? Uh, clear, clear. Okay. Okay, great, great. So, okay. So if this is clear, let me remove this. And let me remove this also. So we don't have anything else here. Refresh a blank page. Okay. Okay. So before we move on to Flexbox, let me create a simple layer so that we can understand the Flexbox layout. What I mean by Flexboxing, real good. Correct. So let me create one parent element. Say I'll give it as main. Correct. Then we'll have four elements. Right. Say box one. So what I've done here, guys, I've created a parent element of class main, a div element, correct? It has four classes inside it. Oh, sorry, it has four divs inside it of class box. I've given the same class name to all of them. So let's style it first, right? So first is our main element. So let's give width of 100%, height of 500 pixels. Um, what else? Let's give background color. Say light gray. Right. Are we able to see this? It's too big. Okay, I hope this is clear. This is visible. Now let's also style the child element. That is the box element. The box elements, let's give width as 100 pixels, height as 100 pixels, and let's give background color black. And also let's change the color of the text, right? So let it be orange. And how do we change the font size? There's a property called font size itself, right? So 25 pixels. Let me save this and let's see what is happening here. So can you guys see these four boxes? So let me just give a small margin also here so that we can differentiate them. 2 pixels. So can we see this layout, what I've done? And can you guys tell me why are we seeing these boxes one below the other? We discussed this in the yesterday at the last. Can you guys tell me why are we seeing these boxes one below the other and not in a horizontal manner? Why are we seeing it in a vertical manner? Can you guys tell me that? I'm looking at your chats now. Gokul says display block. Okay, that's the right answer. So what is happening here is, guys, by default, some of the elements take display type of block. Some elements take display type of inline. So we saw this, right? How did we solve it? We used a property called display inline block, correct? So if I give here display inline block, When I refresh this page, you'll see they're getting arranged side by side. And also, if you observe previously, the gap between the two div elements was little, and now it's increased a bit. Correct. So this is one problem with the inline blocks. It creates little bit of extra gap between them. So, and also if you want to move them to the right or left, we have to manually give the margins and paddings for each of this element in order to center them or move to the end of the screen or the bottom of the screen to do all this stuff, right? So in order to solve this, what we have is called a display flex. Okay. So what is flexbox? A flexbox is one dimensional layout in which we can arrange our child elements in either row fashion or a column fashion. Okay, that is what we use flexbox for. This is clear, guys. What is a flexbox? It is used for arrange the child elements of a parent in a vertical manner or a horizontal manner. Okay, this is a one-dimensional layout. We can either do it in one row wise or column wise. We cannot do it both at a time. Okay, so for that we have something called grid, but in flexbox we can do it only one dimensional. Okay, guys. Is this clear? Is the concept of flexbox clear? Now we'll see how what are the different properties does the flexbox give us. Okay, we'll see different properties now. But did you understand why do we need flexbox? Or understanding how can we use or why do we need basically the flexbox? What is it doing? Someone is asking a question. Last date for submission of assignment. Or I think it's tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Just check once. Check the community, guys, once. All the details are there. Okay, I hope this is clear. So let's understand the different properties and how to apply the flexbox in here. So let me just remove this display inline and let's go back how it was initially. Correct? This was vertically arranged. Now, so one thing you have to understand, guys, we have the child elements here. We gave display inline block to the child elements. I was basically converting each div element, that is the child box element here, into an inline block so that they'll act in a horizontal, so that they can be represented in a horizontal way. But when you want to use a flex box, you apply it to the parent, that is this main class. Correct? You apply the flex box to this so that all the child elements inside it will get arranged according to our instructions. Correct? So let's see how it works. If I give display flex, that's it, nothing else. When I refresh, you'll see they are getting arranged in a horizontal manner. And also, if you see, the gap between them is exactly 2 pixels here. It's actually 4 pixels because you have the left and right of each box also. So the in between it is 4 pixels. At the end, it is 2 pixels. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now, one more concept here is this whole gray color, what you see is called the container. Okay, that is the main element is called the container. We already know this. And what we see, these black boxes inside this are called items. So when I refer flex container, it's the gray area. When I refer flex items, it is the black one. That's the difference, guys. So now we saw by default, when I give display flex, everything is getting arranged in a horizontal manner. What if you wanted to do it in a vertical manner, right? So we'll see. We have a property called flex direction is equal to column. So guys, so you have to remember all the properties that I'm going to discuss now, like flex direction. I'm going to discuss about justify content and align items. So these properties work when you have display is equal to flex. Then only these fields work. If you are not giving display is equal to flex, these properties will not be working for you. Okay. Anushka Sripad says, explain again. What do you want me to explain again, Anushka? Can you please specify that also? Because the chat is little delayed. Just tell me what you want me to explain again. I'll explain it. Okay, not a problem. Okay. Now, observe, guys, what is happening. I'm going to display as flex and the flex direction as column. So if you refresh, it's getting arranged in the vertical manner here. And also you have few more properties like column reverse. So what it basically does is it will arrange everything in a reverse manner. So if I refresh now, you'll see the 1, 2, 3 boxes are getting arranged from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is also possible. And similarly, yeah, we have row reverse also. When I give row reverse, you'll see all the elements are getting arranged from the right to left fashion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Anushka says flex. So, okay, we are still discussing flex. Don't worry, we are still discussing flex. Basically, what I'm trying to say is we have a layout. In a layout, if you want to arrange the elements from left to right or top to bottom, or if you want to align the items in the center, right? For all this stuff, we can use flex boxes. The problem with inline boxes is if you want to arrange them, you'll have to use separate padding, margin, everything. So, for example, here I'm giving the property flex direction is equal to row reverse, correct? So if I wanted to arrange the same thing for all this, I had to give margin for all these elements individually from calculating it from the end of the screen, correct? And also, if the screen size changes, again it will be a problem for me, correct? Now it is getting automatically arranged because of the flex properties, correct? Before flex properties, we had to do it manually, but in HTML we are introduced with flex boxes. From then it's been like this, so it becomes easy for us to arrange the elements. Don't worry, we are going to see some more examples for another 10-15 minutes, so we'll get cleared, okay, if it is not still clear. सर आप ये कोड कम्युनिटी पे डालोगे कमेंट में उसके भी लिख देना सर. Yeah, sure, Himanshu. I'll write all the comments. Don't worry. I'll also share a couple of images at the last, if possible, which will explain the flex boxes even more better. I found some nice, cool images to explain the flex properties. I'll show you that. Don't worry. Now, is the flex direction property clear, guys? For all of you, tell me this: is the flex direction clear? We had row. We saw row. How row reverse we saw. It will arrange from right to left and left to right. Then we had column from top to bottom and bottom to top. Correct? We had these properties. Okay. Okay. You guys are saying yes, yes. Great. So let's see the next property, guys. Okay. So the next property is something called justify content and align items. So before we understand this, there is something that I want to tell you guys. So always, if when in a flexbox layout, we have we have two axes. That is the main axis and the cross axis, something like an horizontal and a vertical axis, right? But this main axis and cross axis, the behavior changes based upon the direction, right? So, for example, if your flex direction is row, then your x axis will be the main axis and your y axis will be the cross axis. So this is the main axis, this is a cross axis. Okay. If your flex direction is column, then your x axis becomes your cross axis, then and your y axis becomes your main axis. Okay. So this is very important, guys. Please concentrate here. Okay. If you understand this property, flex boxes will become very easy for you guys. Very easy. Okay. This is the main trick in which you have to understand. Okay. When the flex direction is row, the main axis will be x-axis and the cross axis will be the y-axis. When your flex direction is columns, the x-axis becomes your cross axis and the y-axis becomes your main axis. So we'll see a couple of properties with which we can understand this. So let me change this back to row and let's see once. Yeah, back to how it was, correct? By default, the direction of the flex is row, guys. Okay. B2, the certificate you'll get it after the completion of the course and assignments. Okay, don't worry about that. So the next property that I want to show is called justify content. Okay. So one more thing here is I want to write it down so that you guys are clear. justify content works with the main axis. Okay, this is important. Okay, okay. Now let's see the first property. FlexStat is nothing by default. You have FlexStat. So let's see the second property, that is center. Now observe what is happening when I give justify content. All the child elements are moving to the center of the div, and it is moving in the main axis, that is the x-axis. Correct? So justify content works with the main axis. Since our direction is row, it is working on the main axis. So when I give property as center, everything is moving in this way. Clear? B2, you have to fill the register. You have to register with your actual name. What your name with which you register, that name will be printed. Okay, not the name from the chat. Will not take the name from the chat. You have to register for the course. What are name that you give, we'll take it from there. Okay, guys, please hold your questions for some time. Understand this because this is a tricky part. After this, we'll have doubt clearing sessions. Okay, and concentrate here now. Okay, because this is very important now. So did you guys understand what I'm trying to do here? Justify content, when I give center, it was moving along the x-axis because the the direction of the flex was row. Okay, this is it. Now we have another property that is flex end. When I give flex end, you can see it is going 1, 2, 3, 4 at the last. But if you remember in row reverse, what was happening was 4, 2, 3, 1. It was correct. That was the difference. Okay, and similarly we have space between. Okay. So space between, what it does, it tries to, whatever the space is available, it will try to add it in between the elements equally. Okay. So just imagine if you had to do it manually, right? You had to give margin left or margin right to each of these elements. You have to select the second element, give margin left, select the third element, give margin left, select the fourth element, give margin left. It would be really tough, right? So using Flexboxes, all these problems will be solved, and it calculates automatically. Well, depending upon your screen size, it automatically calculates. Now, if I go to inspect and try to change the screen size. See, observe the space between the boxes, guys. It's changing according to the screen width. Correct? Because I have used 100% for the parent, the width between them is changing automatically depending upon the screen size. Correct? So this is how the Flexbox helps a lot. So let's see one more property that is called space around. Carefully observe. When I refresh, we are getting spaces between the elements and also around the elements at the last and the start. But if you observe, the first and the last space that you have is little smaller than the space between the elements. So that is what you get, some kind of a layouting, like you have left space from the start and the end, right? If you read any book or a novel, right, you'll see some space left at the last and the first, right? Something similar to that. So we have one more property, evenly. Or can you change my, okay, एक बार column wise भी कर लें उससे. Yeah, Himanshu, we'll see column wise also. We'll definitely see. First, let's learn about row, then we'll move to column. Yeah, definitely. Next, we have space evenly. When I give space evenly, what is happening is the space between the elements and also around the elements is same. Okay, this is getting automatically getting calculated. The spaces between the elements and also around the elements is always same. So is this clear, guys? Is the flex content clear? We saw center, we saw flex end, we saw space between, space around, and space evenly. Correct? And we have to understand justify content is working in the x-axis, that is the main axis, because the flex direction is row. Now, observe carefully what happens if I change the flex direction from row to column. Okay, observe this. The elements are getting arranged vertically, and the space between them also is getting evenly distributed. Since the direction is now column, your justify content will main axis is the y axis, correct? So because of that, it's getting arranged vertically with space evenly property. Now if I change this to center, for example, observe all the elements are getting arranged center in the vertical manner because the column direction of flex direction is column. Okay. Now since the column flex direction is column, what is our main axis cross axis? That is the x axis, and cross axis works with align items. Okay. Now observe, if I give center here, what happens? All the elements are getting moved in this manner. Vertically, they're still arranged in the vertical manner, but they're moving in the x axis because we have given the align items as center. Clear? Okay. So if this is clear, and yes, guys, so we can still play with it. We can give flex end for align items, and they'll start from the end. Okay. We can give flex start, that was by default what we already saw, right? You have these properties also. Okay. So is the concept of justify content and allied items clear? If this is clear, we can move to the next topic. Right? In Flexboxes, we have one more topic to cover. Let's cover that. So the concept of justify content and align items clear to you guys? Works with cross axis. Okay. Depending upon your direction of the Flexbox, whatever is the cross axis, align items works with that. Depending upon your direction of the Flexbox, the justify content will always work with the x-axis, main axis. So remember this, guys. If you can understand this much, you have understood the Flexbox really well. Okay. So is this clear? Let me know, guys. Quickly. I see 38 people. I want you guys to say yes or no, clear or no. Let me know. Come on, guys. Respond fast because we have a lot of topics to cover today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear. Clear. There is a doubt. Once again, align items. Okay. So, okay, let's take a simple example, right? Let's not complicate it. Let's have only one box now. Okay. And let me find these properties also. We have one box, correct? And the direction we know by default, let's give it as row, correct? And if I give justify content as center and our direction is row, if our direction is row, a justify content works with the main axis. What is the main axis? It is the x axis. So this one. If I give center, what has to happen? The one element will come somewhere here, correct? It has to come somewhere here. So you understand the main axis is working in the x axis when I give direction as row. Now, if I give align items, let me comment out the justify content and give only align items as center. Okay. So align items is working on the cross axis. On the cross axis, when the direction is row is y. So it is moving in the vertical fashion. Now, what happens when I give justify content also as center, align items also center? Can you guys guess what is happen? What is going to happen when I give both as center? I'm waiting for your responses. What is going to happen if I give justify content as center and align items as center. Waiting for your responses, guys. It will move to the center. It will go to the middle of the screen. Correct, correct. It's not center, it's a middle, guys. So this is how. So if you have any element that you want to center, this is one way you can do it, guys. Give a flexbox to the parent and give align items and justify content as center. You will moving all the elements to the center. So let's bring back all the other two boxes also, right? You'll see all the boxes are getting arranged in the center. Correct? It's moved to the middle of the screen. Correct, guys. Correct, correct. You are right. Yes, yes, you're right. You're right. You guys are correct. Now, let's remove this align items for now and let's use space around for now. Let's see what it is saying. So we have something like this. Now, let's create some more elements, right? Now we have 4. I've created 12 more elements, correct? Now, let's see what is happening. All the elements are getting arranged in the same line. All the 12 boxes are getting arranged in the same line. And if you observe carefully, the size of the width of the each child element is also shrinked a little bit. Let me put some more, right? Let me try to put some more elements. Now you see one more visible. All the elements are getting arranged in the same line. So this is one property of flex. By default, how many ever elements that you have, the flexbox tries to arrange them in a single line, guys. The single line, whether it's a column or a row, it tries to arrange everything in a single line. It doesn't care how big your element is, what is your width. It always gets overridden if the space is not available. So this is not good, right? We want something. We want, if the space is getting exceeded, we want it to be moving to the next line. So we have a property for that. It's called flex wrap, and we give wrap. Now observe carefully. When I refresh, all the elements are getting arranged according to the so when the space is not enough, they're going to the next line. Correct? That is what is happening here. Is there any tag for scroll? What do you mean? Any tag for scroll? You are saying if you want to scroll it uh, when the element size increases? No, we it doesn't allow us. The Flexbox doesn't allow us to do that. Okay, so this is the only way. You have to use wrap here. Using wrap, you can adjust the content. Okay, now we can have any number of elements here. If you observe, everything is getting arranged automatically. We need not even worry about it. Correct? So yeah, that's the thing. So there is no tag for scrolling. Okay, and using JavaScript, we can do something related to scrolling, but nothing with respect to CSS as of now. What is it? Is the certificate delivered on? Don't worry about certificate, guys. Please concentrate here for some time. If you understand this concept, it will be easy for you. Please concentrate here. Okay, I'll talk about certificates. I'll talk about assignments at the end of the lecture. Don't worry. I'll talk about it definitely. Okay. So is the concept of wrap clear, guys? And also, yeah, we have similarly wrap and wrap reverse. And for to say that, let's give something like a here, so that you will see this element coming on the top. See, it's getting starting from here. Wrap reverse. By default, we have a property called no wrap. If you give no wrap, everything gets arranged in a single line, no matter what. Okay. So in order to remove that, we use wrap. Okay. Is this clear, guys? Is the Flexbox concept clear here? If this is clear, we can definitely move to the next concept. Give me a yes if Flexbox is clear, guys. Let me know. If Flexbox is clear, we can move to the next topics of the day. Did we understand all this? Let me know. So I have a small images here I've taken from the net. Okay, this is just a recap for you guys. Okay, what is happening? So we saw the first property, that is flex direction. So what, when you give row, it starts from left to the right. When you give row reverse, it starts from the right to the left. Similarly for column, from the top to the bottom. When you give column reverse, from bottom to the top. Correct? This is clear. Next, we saw about justify content. What justify content does is it tries to arrange elements in the main axis depending upon your direction. If your main axis is, if your direction is row, the flex item starts from left to right. When you give flex start, flex end is from again from the right to left. But you have to observe the first element is getting moved. It's in case of row reverse, the first element was going to the last. Okay, we have center, space between, space around, and we saw one more property, that is space evenly also. Correct? Then we saw align items. We saw center, it was moving things in a vertical manner. We saw flex start, it will move everything into the top. We saw flex end, it will move everything to the bottom. And we have two more properties like stretch and baseline that are something similar. So it basically those are related to the child elements. So it stretches the elements from the bottom to the top. Correct? So it tries to occupy the entire height of the parent. That is what the stretch is. Okay. I hope this is clear, guys. So I got a couple of S and Qs. So let's move to the next topic. Okay. For the next topic, what we'll do is we'll create a new file. We'll not use this file so that I can share this with you. Day 3 underscore A. Right. For topics, right, for others. Let me write this. Let me close these files. Let me copy this path. Let me paste this into a chat. We have a nice little blank screen, right? So we have our boiler template. We'll say the CSS speaking of the topics. So before we move on further, right, I'll show us a couple of individual properties that we have in CSS. So with which you can make your containers or your elements more beautiful, right? So we'll see one by one of them. So for that, let me just create a div main class. Okay. So I'll for this we are gonna not write a lot of CSS. So let me try to write it everything in internal CSS using the style element. You remember this, right, guys? So we'll use style element. So first, let's access. See some error here. So let's give basic things. We'll give height as 150 pixels, width as 150 pixels, background color blue. Okay, so let's see that. Zoom this a little bit. Okay, so the first property that the new property that we learn is called border radius. Okay, so what do the value that you give in border radius is in terms of pixels. Okay. So now, for example, if I give 10 pixels here, observe what is going to happen with respect to this blue box. The edges are little curved here. Can you guys see this? The edges are curved here. Can you guys see this? Right? So based upon the amount of pixels that you give, the edges will be curved. Now say for example I give 25 here. The edges will be more curved. Correct? Did you see the difference? Now we can, if you give 50%, right? If in terms of percentage, if you give 50%, what happens is it will try to give the curvature and the edges up to 50%. When all the four edges of the square becomes 50%, it turns into a circle. Correct? So is this clear? What is happening here, right? We are changing the border radius into 50% so that we can convert a square into a circle. So this is one thing I wanted to show you guys. So another thing I wanted to show was box shadow. So yesterday we were, I think one person was asking about box shadow, right? How to give shadows to your elements, correct? So we have four properties, guys, for shadow. Okay, first is the ho- right horizontal offset. You give it in terms of say like 10 pixels, and vertical offset, and that is in the bottom. Say that is 20 pixels, for example. And how much blur you want? For example, say 10 pixels again. So higher the number, more amount of blur that you get. And at last you have to give a color. Let's see red for now. So let's see what is happening. Can you guys see this shadow? So let me remove this radius for now. So let it be a box. So it's more clear. And also let me give a little bit of margin left so that it be arranged to the center. Right. So maybe little margin top also. Okay. Are you guys able to see this? So let's understand this syntax again, right? Excuse me. So the first 10 pixels which I gave here, right? That is the horizontal offset that you're seeing here. This guys, this length, what are you seeing is the 10 pixels. That is the first property that we gave. And this in the bottom, what you're giving is the 20 pixels, right? That's a vertical, that is in the bottom, this 20 pixels. And this 10 pixels is for the blur, how much blur or the spread you want. So based upon that, you have to give this. Higher the value, more amount of blur you'll see. And red is the color, right? So if you want the shadow from all the sides, right, you just give 0 pixels from for the top and left, and you let your blur radius be as is. So you'll see. Are you able to see this thin line outside, right? So that is the box. That is how the box shadow works. Is the concept of box shadow and box border radius clear, guys? Let me know. Any doubts here? And yes, we have one more property that we can do called inset. When you give inset, carefully observe what is happening. Currently, we have the shadow outside, right? So when I give inset, you can see there is a little bit of shadow inside also. So let me just put up all these values also so that it's more visible. So are you able to see the shadow inside the box? So this is a property that is doing it inside. If you remove this, the shadow will be outside. Okay, clear. I guess this is clear. And also, right, if you want the shadow, now currently we are seeing the shadow in the right side and the bottom side. If you want to see them in the left and the top, it's very simple. You just give minus values, correct? You'll see them in the other direction. Okay. Clear, guys? Okay. Sir, 10 pixel is property here. So the third 10 pixel was for the blurriness. So if you increase this 10 pixels, say I give 100 pixels here, right? What is going to happen? You see, carefully observe this, right? What is happening here? It's more blurred out, right? So this is basically for how much blurriness you want. Higher the number, more the blur it is. Okay? I hope that is clear. Okay. So if the concept of box shadow and the border radius is clear, what we can do now is we can move to pseudo classes. That is another important property that we have, and with which we can actually do pretty good, little bit of kind of say animations or kind of thing, or transformations or kind of thing we can say. Okay. Again, similarly, we have our div, nothing fancy, a simple div we have. We have height, width, a little bit of margin so that we can see it in the center of the screen. We have a background color of blue, right? So next we'll see about pseudo classes. So is can we move to pseudo classes, guys? Let me know what is the use of different property px, pc, pt. I don't think we have anything called pc and all. We have pixels, px, and if you want to give in terms of percentage, you can give percentage, and we also have something called em and rem. So those we use when we want to use responsive design, right? So, but if you can understand pixels, that's the basics. M and rem are for something like you want to give size once and use it as a reference, right? So you in the body you define saying one m is equal to say some 16 pixels. So later on when you want to use in terms of m, you'll say I want 1.5 times of 16 pixels. That is like 1.5 m you'll give. So what it will do, it will take 1.5 times of 16 pixels and apply that property. So it's something similar that I don't want to complicate that. So I'm not teaching that as of now. But don't worry about that. You understand pixels and percentage. For now, it's for the beginners, it's really good and really important to understand that. So shall we move to pseudo classes now? Correct. So what? So do you guys know what is the meaning of pseudo class? Pseudo, the word pseudo. Have you heard of this word pseudo before? Can you guys tell me what is the meaning of pseudo? Clear, so clear. So yeah. Okay. What is the difference? What is the meaning of pseudo? Can you guys tell me that? Google says no, not a problem. I'll explain. Anyone else? Shiva says partial. No, it's not partial. Pseudo is this. P is silent. This is what I mean. Pseudo class. So pseudo means you may have heard it in your 11th or 12th, right? It's called false or unreal, something which is there but you cannot see, but you can say experience it or feel it, right? So you may have heard of the term pseudo force or something like that, correct? So pseudo means false. It is there, but we cannot see it, but we can experience it or feel it, maybe. Correct. So in CSS, we have something called pseudo classes. Okay, we'll see how to use pseudo classes and why do we need pseudo classes. So basically, you may have seen like right when you go to a particular page or website, when you click on the button, the color of the button changes, or when you click on an input field, the border of the input field changes. So these kind of effects we can do it by using pseudo classes. So it is there but we cannot see it but we can experience it. So what is the syntax for this pseudo class, right? We already saw yesterday the normal syntax, right? This one. Let me write it here itself. Right? Let me open notepad. So this is the normal syntax that we have. So in order to access the pseudo classes, we have to give colon immediately after the selector and write the name of the class. Okay, maybe class is confusing, so I'll give an example. Right, hover is one of the pseudo classes that we have. So you give immediately after your selector, whatever it is, like say the p element, right? You have a p element and you give hover. This is the class. We'll see how it works. And you give property, any property, color, background color, font size, font weight, font family, everything, all those things. You can give any properties here. So this is a syntax size. A small change, you have to add a semicolon immediately after the selector and write which pseudo class you want to access. Okay, I think this is clear. So let's see some examples, right, guys? So we have our div element. We are accessing it by main. So we still want to access the main element, right? And on top of this main element, we are gonna do some kind of pseudo class. So you have semicolon and write the class that you want to access. Now, for now, we'll see how the hover works. Now we know the background color is blue. We can try changing it background color to say brown, maybe. Yeah. Now observe what is going to happen. Let me refresh. Currently, nothing is happening. But what is our property, right? It's a hover. What do you mean by hover? By going over something. So did you observe? See this. When I go on the top of the div, the color of the element changes. So in this kind of things, it will help us to use pseudo classes. And if you see, it's very quick. The color change is very quick, correct? And also we can do few more things, right? So not only background color, we can say width, or we can, let's change height, right? Height to 200 pixels. When I hover, okay, let me refresh. The height also changes, the color also changes, and it's very very immediate, right? So in order to make this change very user friendly or something like that, what we can do is we can use a property called transition. Okay, in transition, what we give is the time. For example, 1 second. We can give something like this. Now observe what is going to happen. Refreshing it. The transition is very smooth here. When I hover over it, it is taking exactly 1 second to change from the initial state, that is a blue color, to the final state where it is brown with increase in height. So transition helps you in order to give the timing for your initial state and your final state. Okay, that is in our case it is blue color to the brown color. Correct? Okay. So is this clear, guys? What we are trying to do is the concept of transition is the concept of pseudo clause with respect to hover clear. So shall we see some more ways in which we can use pseudo classes? Some more ways we can customize it. And also one more thing. So if you observe here, right, when I hover over it, it slowly moves to the final state. But when I remove it, it's quickly going back to the the initial state. It's very quick. Observe this. It's very slow, but when I remove, it's going immediately back. Right. So how can we solve this? Is by giving the transition property for the parent also. When I say parent, the main class also. Instead of the pseudo class, we are giving it to the main class also. So now you observe what is happening here. Okay, I have to refresh. Sorry, I'm forgetting that today. So when I remove, it's taking the same time as for going from the initial state to the final state, from the final state to the initial state also, right? So one more thing is here, if you observe, the background color is changing, the height is changing, but the width is not changing. The margin left, margin top, nothing of these are changing, correct? So what you can understand by this is the properties are getting overwritten only for the ones we are specifying it, correct? So since we have transition here, we need to mention it here. Okay, we can remove it from here. It will still work because we have it in the. I'm refreshing it. Let me refresh. So if you see observers, yeah. we can also give other properties also. For example, say margin left of, say we need what was it? We are given 250 pixels. Let's give it 300 pixels. Correct. Now if you see what is going to happen, refresh. It's moving in the diagonal fashion or something like that. Correct. Because we are given, I'm increasing the height and also I'm moving it to the right. So you have this effect, cool effect, correct? So guys, you one thing you have to remember, the all the properties that I taught you, right? The Flexbox properties or the transition properties that I'm teaching you, or the pseudo, you can apply it for any elements, right? All the elements you can apply. Now for simplification purpose and for the explanation purpose, I'm taking the div as an example and doing it. You can do it on other elements also. You can do it on buttons also. You can do it on text. You can do it on all of them. Not a issue, correct? So we have another property similar to hover. So let me comment this so that we can share it later. Similarly, like hover, we have something called active. If I change active here, so if you observe what is happening, okay, let me do some more things here. Let me not increase height as of now, and margin also let it be only background color. Let's see for background color what it works. Refresh. See, if I hover also nothing is happening, correct? So active works when you keep pressing it on the mouse, the right click, sorry, the left click. As soon as I remove the left click, it is gone. So active is like when you select on particular element. See, if you see this, let me increase the timing so that it's more clear. Maybe 2 seconds. So if you are able to see this, there's a small the brown is coming and going off, correct? So to create these kind of effects, we can use active pseudo class. So is the active clear? Yes, Gokul, active, correct. So where do we have use cases for this? Let me just remove this. We don't need this. Okay. So we saw hover, we saw active, and so what is the use case of this, right? We can do for buttons. You usually see this happening. So let me just go to some website so that you can see this live. That I've used it, correct? Let's go to let's upgrade. We can see some examples. So can you see this, guys? When I hover over this, the background color is changing to slightly grayish color. So this is done by hover effect, correct? And also, if you see this visit community, the background color is changing from white to black, and the text color is changing from black to white, correct? You can apply this on the buttons and also text, right? So if you observe in the footer, when I hover over each element, the color is changing to orange, correct? From gray to orange. So this can also be accomplished by using hover effect, correct? By using hover pseudo class, you can do this. So did you guys understand pseudo classes? We'll see one more example, but before that, did you guys understand pseudo classes? Any doubts in pseudo classes? Give me a yes, guys. Is pseudo class clear? It's interesting. Yes, yes. We'll see a lot more. We'll see. We have. I think we can cover some more topics. We'll see some more animations, kind of things, some more effects. Let me know is the pseudo classes clear. Come on, guys. I can see 39 people as of now. I want yes or no from you guys. Active once again. Explain. Okay, not a problem. How to apply it on text? Okay, we'll see that also. Not a problem. Yeah. So say I have a instead of this div element, let me change this div element to a p element, correct? And let me write some text. Okay, let me use go run. format it a little bit. And for it's the P element, so we don't need height and width. Background color is fine. We can give text color as orange, maybe blue and orange. I think they go well. Orange, red. Let's see. So when it active background color changes to brown and color of the text changes to say white. So when I press on the text, the color is changing. Correct? Can you see this? If I press on my right, left, oh sorry, I can't show it like that, but you trust me here. I'm pressing on the left key, left, I'm doing a left click, the color changes. As soon as I remove it, the color is going back. That is what the active is for. As soon when you click, you see the effect of clicking, right? To see the effect of clicking, we use active. Okay. We can use it on all type of elements, not a problem. I'm just showing it here. Try it out, guys. Take the same examples which I've taken. Try it out with different examples, right? Try to create a button. Try to apply the same thing, right? It will work. Now, for example, for the next pseudo class, we'll see a input element, right? So let me comment this off also. Let me change this also, right? So that it's easy for you guys. And, let me comment this for now. And let's see next type, that is input field. Let it be type of text, not a column. Placeholder enter user name. So let's see how it is looking as of now. Let's refresh. So we have this box, right? We know this. I'm zooming it also a little bit. So if you observe this, guys, when I click inside the box is the input text field is getting highlighted with the outline of black color, correct? So this state of getting highlighted is called focus. Okay. Sorry, my chat was gone for a minute. Let me just go back to the chat. Okay, it's clear. Great. So this the movement of going inside the text field is called focus, right? So if you can also navigate it to using the tab, right? If I click on tab, we can go into different fields. So if you may have seen it in the Google Forms, while pressing tab, you're going to the next input field. But the effect that you get is by using this outline feature, right? So this state is called focus. So we have an element for that also. So let me give one class as in INP field, right? Class name. That is our class name. So let's see. Let me remove this black color thing, what we have outline, so that the property name is also outline. So you give outline as none, so you'll not see that. When I refresh the page and click on this, you'll not see any change, right? There is no change. So we can remove that using the outline property. So what we can do, input field, the pseudo element that we are going to use now is called focus. Okay. So before I write anything in the focus, right, let me write few things here. So let me give margin left as say 30 pixels. Okay. And you see here, it's more left. And also if you see, guys, if whatever I write here, it is starting from the edge, right? So if I zoom out, now I have actually zoomed out a lot. So you can see it's really close to the edge, right? It's almost touching the border, correct? So in order to move this text, whatever you have, to little bit of your right side, right? We have property here. So this will be a very useful property for you guys. Text indent, say 10 pixels. So if you see, now whatever I write here is moved a bit from the end, correct? Now if you see this, at the end it's normal, right? But on the starting, we can see this, there's a little bit of movement of the text. But if you want to give a space from all around the border, right? We already know this property. It's called padding, right? We can give padding of say 10 pixels, or 10 pixels is too much. We'll give 5 pixels. You can see now the box is also increased a bit, and we have 5 pixels from the right corner, top and left, top and bottom. On the left, we have 5 pixels of padding and 10 pixels of text input. Now, if you want, you can remove that also, not a problem. So, but it's better to know we have something called padding in order to give little. So, screen has paused. Okay, let me share it again. Guys, are you able to see my screen? Confirm. Sorry for the lag. Are you guys able to see my screen? Oh, sorry, you guys have been telling it for a couple of minutes. I forgot to check the chats. Yes, yes, I'll explain the input field again. I'll explain the input field again. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. I think it's happening for the 3 days in a row for some reason. Okay, not a problem. I think you guys missed it from this. Okay, let me explain this once again. This concept, right? So we know that now. Okay, okay, no, not a problem, guys. Sorry for the inconvenience. Now we have this. Uh, we have this input field, and we have the placeholder, and when we type something, it is starting from the edge, right? So in order to move the text from the edge to the little bit of right side, right, what the property that we use is called text indent. Okay, so when I give text indent of 10 pixels, you'll when I refresh it, you'll see the starting cursor which you're seeing is at the uh, 10 pixels from the border. Okay, that is how it is. But if you want to have the same effect from all the sides, what we can do is we can have padding also. When I give padding, when I refresh the page, observe this, what is going to happen. You'll get padding from all the sides, 5 pixels, right? I've given 5 pixels, so you have 5 pixels from top, bottom, and the left also you have, right? Like left, you also have 10. You have 15 pixels because of the text indent. I think this is clear now. Clear, guys? Okay. So let's see one more pseudo class, that is focus. So what is focus? As we discussed, when you go inside the element, that time the element is focused. We say the element is focused. Now, so to see how it is working, let's give a property. Let's use our background color as always. Let's use this teal color. Maybe I don't know how it looks. Let's see. When I press inside, the color of the background is changing. Can you see this? I think this color is looking really bad. Let me change it to gray or something. Even this looks really bad. Maybe light gray. Yeah, this looks little better maybe. So you can see this. When I move outside when I click outside the box, the focus is gone. When I click inside the box, the focus is back. Right? Bit2 says repeat. What do you want me to repeat, Bit2? Please tell me that. So guys, when you say something like repeat, tell the topic also which you want me to repeat, because the chat is couple of minutes slow, I guess. So it will be easy for me also, right? I need not ask you a second question again. So we can do some more things, not only background color. Let's not do background color. It's not looking good. So we learned some properties, right? We learned box shadow. Let's try to do box shadow for this. When we go on, when we do focus, box shadow. Say I'll give 10 pixels, 20 pixels, from 10 pixels from the right, 20 pixels from the bottom, and I want blur of 5 pixels, and say I want something like blue, just so that we can differentiate how we can see the effect of it. Let me refresh the page. Can you see this? We're getting a shadow when I'm focusing it. So now this doesn't look good. Let's try to style it a little better. So let's not give 5 pixels. Let it be 5 pixels, or maybe, yeah, let it be maybe 3 pixels, and let's give this 0 so that we have shadow from all the sides. And let's not use blue, something light, lighting color, maybe light green, light sea green. I think you can, in the screen, this color will be visible, I think. Are you guys able to see this? So there's one more thing that we can do. The outline also is none, and border we can use. Currently the border is really thick, guys. So we'll give 2 pixels, solid, maybe black is not good, maybe gray. Right. Let me refresh. Yeah. And also we have learned one more property, right? Border radius, correct? Let's apply that also. Border radius, let's give 10 pixels. So you have a little bit of curve also here, and I think the border is too much. Let's keep it 1 pixel. That's good. Yes. Let me go it. Yeah, this looks much better, right? This looks much better. So, what is the why we use text indent? Text indent is for the space from the border. How much space you want to give? For that, we use text indent. If you give 20 pixels, it will start from here, something like that. Okay. Next is, what is the difference between hover and focus? Hover is something you just bring your mouse over the element. Okay, you're not focus is, focus works only for, first of all, focus works only for elements like input. Okay, so when I click, I'm doing a click here, click action, that's when the element is getting focused. If I'm just simply bringing my cursor here, so nothing is happening, right? That is, if you use hover option, something will happen with respect to that. But when you want to do focus, you have to click. Okay, that is the difference. How many pseudo classes are there? There are so many pseudo classes. I'm discussing three now, as of now. So once you have understand the concept of pseudo classes, we have something like active. I think we discussed active also, right? We have some more. I'm not able to recall. Just Google it. You'll get a lot of, and they're very simple, guys. Just like how I observed. Right? Depending upon our use case, we'll use different types of pseudo classes. Okay. Can we get link to the assignment? You guys just join the community. It is posted in the assignment. Everything is posted there. Okay. Himanshu, I personally posted the assignment in the community yesterday. Check it once again, or at the last I'll show the assignment again. Don't worry. Okay. And also I want to show you one more thing, guys. So when I hover over this, you're seeing this arrow cursor is changing into uh, line kind of thing, right? So you can customize that also, right? So on focus maybe, or let's see difference between input, right? The hover and the focus. Input field, hover, So we have a property called cursor. So here we can have different kinds of cursors, right? So we can have a pointer where you see a hand symbol. You can see a progress where you see that circular loading kind of symbol. And you have not allowed, like where you see a circle with a slash in between them. So let's see that. Not progress. Let's see first pointer. So if I refresh, if I go over this, can you see this change in the arrow is changing to hand symbol, guys? Can you see this? I cannot zoom my cursor, but try to see this. So similarly, we have not allowed. So if I go over this, you can see this not allowed symbol, right? So you can customize your cursor also based upon the effects, correct? So that is also possible. Uh, Submission link, so it will be updated. It will be posted in the community. Check the community, Himanshu, or we'll show it at the last. And I think the Josna also has posted the link. You can use that. Okay. So it's already 11:20, guys, almost. So is the concept of pseudo classes clear? If this is clear, I'll show you one more last property called transformations. If okay, is the concept of pseudo classes clear, guys? Give me a big guess. We have very less time, so let's move fast, little fast. Okay. We just comment this also. You may ask, guys, if the concept of pseudo class is clear. I'm waiting for your reply. Clear. Great. So yeah, so if pseudo classes is clear, let's see one more last property of the day. So because we are running out of time, okay. So how to apply transformations, right? So for that, I think let's use this div element again. Let me remove this text. We don't need this text. Or let me have something like hello. So let's see this or how we are. Okay, something like this. We have to give height and width. Let this be there. Let me for 1 second. I don't think we need this much. We'll see 150 pixels is fine. And top also, I don't think this much we need. 55 pixels. Okay. Okay. So back to basics, right? Let's see when will we get participation certificate as completion assignment. Yes, Sachin. So at last, I'll tell you about all the details about the certification, everything. Don't worry. Now focus on this. We have few more minutes, so we'll complete one. We'll try to learn one more property here. So again, on pseudo classes, let's see. Main pseudo class. Let's see. We'll take over again. Okay. When when I hover over this box, right, I'll use the property called transform, and inside transform we have something called scale. And in the scale you give something in terms of numbers, right? So by default the scale is 1. If I want to give 1.3, let's see what happens, right? Let me refresh. Did you guys see this? When I hover over the element, it is expanding from all the sides, correct? Sachin, wait for some time, I'll explain all the details. Okay, don't keep asking the same question, right? I'll explain about at the last. Okay, don't worry. Okay, observe on this. Okay, concentrate here right now. So this is the property, guys, scale. So when I give scale, it is expanding 1.3 times of the original size, correct? And why is it going smoothly? Smoothness is because of this transition property. correct? Also you can view this in a lower number also, guys. So like point say 7, correct? Now refresh. If I go, it will shrink. When you give less than 1, it will shrink. When you give more than 1, it will expand, correct? And it expands from the center. That's the effect that we see, correct? Yeah. I think this is clear. So also we can do one more thing. So let's bring it back to 1.3, and we can scale it in the directions also, guys. As of now, we are seeing it happening in all the sizes, all the sides. We can do it from in the particular direction also. Scale X we have. Refresh. You'll see the scaling is happening in the x axis, correct? Okay. Similarly, we have Y. Refresh. You guys able to see this? Clear? Okay. Everyone is saying yes. I hope this is clear. The first property. Okay. The next one is transform. We have something called translate. Okay. So here also we have translate X, say 100 pixels. Here we have to give in terms of pixels, guys. So translate is something like a movement from left to right or right to left. We can do that. So let me refresh. Are you able to see this? It is moving, correct? When I hover it, it's moving to the right. X is for weight. Similarly, we can try it out for Y also. It's going down, correct? So can you guys tell me what? Okay, let me not ask you because we are running out of time. But if I give minus here, right? What is going to happen from the initial place wherever it was there? It will go in the opposite direction, in the top, correct? It's going in the top. When I give positive value, it is going down. When I give negative value, it is going in the up. Similarly for Y, it was going right. If I give negative value, it will go to the left. Clear? I have come in the 5th position of share and win. Guys, these are not the questions. Concentrate here. We'll solve those doubts in the last. Don't worry. Or if you have any doubts, post it in the community or write the email to the Let's Upgrade team. They'll respond to you. Don't worry. So is the translate property and the scale property clear, guys? Is it clear? Translate and scale clear. We have one more property at last. We'll see that also. Transform. We have something called rotate. So here we do in X, Y, and Z. Here we have to specify rotation in terms of degrees. Okay, so we have three axes in for rotate, something like this. So x-axis means something in the forward and something in like this, right? X-axis, something happens is when I give rotate x, it'll rotate y, it'll rotate something like this, and rotate z horizontal. You can see the rotation like a ball, something like that. Correct. So we'll see rotate x. What happens first? When I refresh and then I hover, so it's actually like going something like this, guys. Okay, that's why you're seeing this size shrink. It's a 2D, right? You're seeing out of the screen, so you're seeing something like this. Okay. Similarly, let's try 90 degrees, maybe. Refresh. So 90 degrees means what is happening? It is coming exactly straight. So you're not able to see it at all. Correct? Okay, that is how it works. Now let's see Y. Rotate Y. Let's go back to 45 degrees. Refresh. Y means something like this. Correct? So you see something is getting tilted like this. Correct? So that is how rotate Y works. You can experiment with different types of degrees, guys. So that is one thing. And Z, let's give 45 degrees again. Let's see what happens. Refresh. When you hover, you're seeing something like this, right? You're seeing the rotation here. Correct? So you can do something like 360 degrees. When I hover over it, it makes a whole circle, right? It makes a whole circle. Anything above 360 will have the same effect. Okay. So can we make little bit animation on website? We could have definitely done it. We have animation properties also, but unfortunately we have no more time today. So maybe in advanced sections or in upcoming sessions, we'll definitely do that. So is all the topics for the day clear, guys? Tell me this. Did you understand everything? Did you enjoy the session? We will not learn anything more. So we have learned pretty much. We have learned Flexboxes today. We learned about pseudo classes. We learned about border radius, how to make a circle. We learned about box shadows, correct? We learned about the little bit of transformation. We learned about scaling that expands from all the sizes sides. We learned about translate, which gives movement from left to right or top to bottom. We also learned about rotate, which I mean it's self-explanatory. It rotates. Today's session was best. Thank you, guys. Thank you. When we learn JS, I think we have an upcoming session. Just check the community once, guys. So you'll see all, you can register for all the courses. So we'll have a lot more essential courses. We have advanced courses also, correct? What is your name? My name is Anand Kumar. Okay. So if you have any other questions, guys, any other doubts, if you're having any trouble in completing the assignment or something like that, you can post it in the community. Tag me at the rate Anand Kumar. You'll be finding me there, right? So if you post all the questions in community, we'll be able. I'll answer them. Any doubts that you have, correct? I'll see. Let me see if I have the community link. Let me see. Today's class was on fire. Okay, okay, guys. Great. What more groups? I think not this. I think it was this group. So, guys, if you come to this group, right? Search for this group HTML and CSS zero to hero. Here you'll see all the materials, assignment links, everything you'll see. And if you have any doubts, you can tag me here. My name is Anant Kumar GN. You can tag me that. Okay. So when we complete all three assignments, then only we get certificate. Yes, completion of the assignments is very important, guys. Okay. So you have to put them in this thing and submit it in the assignment form. I've also posted the assignments manually here. So I'll attend all your questions, guys. If you have any questions, you can write it down here. Josna, are you there?
Uh, yes, sir. Guys,
So yeah.
there are two kind of certificates. One is for participation. For that, you need to mark your attendance daily. And second is completion. You will get completion certificate only then when you mark your attendance plus submit your assignments before 4th October. Is that clear? Okay, guys, if you have any doubts, you can post it in the chat or else we can end the session today.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for attending all the 3 days. 3 days. I enjoyed it a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. Okay. We have a weekend tomorrow, so practice it and also have a great weekend. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Josna.
Thank you, sir.